Okay, so I sure hope you guys aren't tired of seeing this, but now that you've got your WordPress situated, and that was an awful lot of training, we're going to move on and we're going to finish setting up all of your social media profiles for all of your social media outposts. Now, I know that a lot of you actually already have these set up. You may have them set up on some and not on the other. So we are going to review all of them and show you what needs to be on each, okay? So this is that branding checklist that we're looking at again, and we've been through brainstorming and naming our business. Branding components is kind of what we're going to concentrate on here in terms of this. Let's pretend like you've already made these decisions. I'm hoping that you have before you got your website set up. So now that your website is set up, you're ready to move on in the checklist to setting up your social media profiles. And social media profiles consist of usernames, photos, bios, and graphics, okay? So I'm going to hop out of the checklist because that's where we are right now. And we do have here the components of a killer brand, okay? So again, this was your name and tagline, which you've already brainstormed, your web address and your profile usernames, which you've hopefully already secured by setting up your website and securing your domain name, and then setting up your social media profiles, which we're going to dig into here. Your visual imagery, which would include headshots and this professional photo of you. Your logo. We mentioned that WordPress theme, the look and feel and the colors there. Graphics for that website. It also includes your voice, how you sound and how you talk. And this needs to be consistent across not only your website and your social media profiles, but any other marketing materials you use, like a business card, a t-shirt, a brochure, slideshows, anything like that. These are your components. So in the visual imagery category, to recap, you want to have that good headshot of you. You want to be smiling, personable, and look professional all in one. And you need it in a lot of different sizes. You'll see those here in just a minute. Consider colors and logo ideas if you want that added professional touch, and especially if you decided to go with the corporate brand, you're definitely going to need a logo. Now, background graphics is where things get a little bit tricky. We're going to talk about those in just a second. You need background graphics on your social media profiles. It sort of ties everything together, keeps your branding consistent across everything, has a theme, makes you look super professional and super sharp. And there's a couple of ways to do these. You can either do them yourself or you can outsource them, and I'm going to show you both ways here. And then your voice and messaging, your tagline. So what is your business superpower? What is your superpower? What do you provide to your clients that no one else can? You need to write your biography, short, medium, and long, so we can use it on all of our social profiles. You're going to write your About You page on your website, which we talked about during WordPress. And then very shortly, we're going to start talking about content, okay? And then in the next video, we're going to talk about content for blog posts and status updates. Now, your voice and your messaging need to be consistent, and your storytelling need to be consistent across all of those. So let's set up your social media profiles. Again, make sure that you have all of these things consistent. And so let's just take a moment and go out there. Now, one last thing that I want to show you is I gave you this Tech Setup Checklist 4.0, and you guys can customize this however you want. I started a few things here for you. Twitter with your things to do, your background, your hex colors, your avatar. YouTube, okay? YouTube here. Your Facebook fan page and custom tabs and applications, which we're actually going to cover in the Doing the Work module. So don't worry about Facebook fan pages just yet, at least in depth. And your LinkedIn here. But the other ones that you're going to want to include are your Google Plus and your Pinterest, and possibly your Instagram. Those are new, okay? So you can, this is editable. You can customize this however you want. And so let me let me get started. Let's get started over here with the things that you need to look at. And why don't we have, let's see which one seems best here. We're going to check for all of our profiles have consistent username, photo, website, bio, and graphics. So I'll refer back to this slide here often. Oh, here we go. All right, let's start here with Twitter. And when we say username, when you sign up for Twitter, you want to make sure that everything, that your username is consistent. Now, if you'll remember, I said in one video that for this, I was going to use smmgr.org. And so I would want to make sure that that was available. And it doesn't look like there's anybody using it, so it should be available. Another way that I can do this without signing up for a new account, because I'm really trying to avoid doing that for you at this point. Most people can follow the on-screen instructions, is I could say smmgr.org here. And it says it's available. It's asking me for my password to change. I do not want to do that, so I'm going to cancel it because I want to keep my username as Buck Jr. Okay, so when we say consistent username, that's what we mean, right? Consistent usernames across all of our profiles. So that means our Twitter, our Facebook, and if you do decide to use a Facebook fan page, then your Facebook fan page name as well. And a lot of times people for their personal profile use their company name, and for their fan page, use their username and for their company profile, but either is fine, okay? On LinkedIn, you can see that my username is Buck Jr. there. On Pinterest, my username is Buck Jr. here. Right? Google Plus, you cannot yet secure your username. But remember earlier when I set up that Gmail account, I used that Gmail account to create not only my Google Plus account, but also my YouTube account, which is Buck Jr. And then your optional one, your bonus one, is Instagram, and my username is Buck Jr. there. So I got very lucky. I also created a really cool name that I was able to locate on all of my social profiles because it wasn't being used yet. Now, photo is where I'm going to get a little finicky. Whoops, because I personally don't always follow my rule here, but you should for sure, and you should definitely for your clients, okay? So you can see I'm a little bit consistent. My main branding photo right now is this photo here, my new photo. And my personal profiles, I have been using this new photo here. So this photo is different. You can see it just looks messy. It's all over the place. None of this is consistent across any of these profiles. So it's not in sync and it looks messy. So what I'm going to do is, for the sake of this quick training, we've got Twitter and LinkedIn, which are done well. And then, of course, for some reason, my internet is being very slow. So I'm going to pause the video for just a second. I'm just going to save this as, and I'm put on my desktop here, and we'll just call it KBJ Head New Branding Headshot. Great. So this is good for me because a lot of times you'll get a client who is in as bad a shape as I am with stuff everywhere that doesn't match. But we do know that it's right on Twitter. We do know that it's right on LinkedIn. So let's change this picture. There we go. See, it's already looking better already. Awesome. And then we should be able to just refresh here and that image should come over, which is great. Now my Instagram and my personal Facebook, I'm going to leave for now because I do use those for personal purposes, you know, as well as business. And I like my profile being a little bit different, but for your client, on a Facebook fan page, I could do it here too. I kind of like my logo there also, but it really is, oh, that does look better. So you can see already that now the consistency that's starting to come together, it just looks a lot more professional. It looks, and it looks a lot more put together, except for, of course, the anomalies here are that I do have personal profiles that are not branded, but that really is up to you and between you and your client. If they're personal profiles, they want to brand them as well. The website URL, which is going to be my KBJ Online, so I want to go back and check all of those profiles and make sure they point to KBJ Online, so we're good here on Facebook. We could also go into the About section and make sure that the website is there. And then I also had it there in my little bio, okay? So those are the places to check and make sure that on Facebook that your website is correct. On Instagram, I'll edit my profile here. And on this one, I'm using Social Media Fly Girl, which is actually okay, and I'll tell you why. And that is because in a little while, I'm going to talk to you about creating a V card. Which is what Social Media Fly Girl is, and so we'll talk about that in just a second. So we're going to say that that's okay. On my personal profile, we can check to see, am I linked to my business profile? I am. And on my About, do we have Social Media Fly Girl and KBJ Online? Yes, we do. Very good. On Twitter, I'm linking to my Facebook right now and my Social Media Fly Girl, which are fine. Okay. On LinkedIn, let's go back here. Maybe this is what I need to do. Edit contact info. Twitter, Kate Buck Jr., my blog site, and my company website. So let's see what we got here. We have, this one is going to my magnet site again, which we're going to talk about, and to KBJ Online. So that's good. So those are kind of my two main websites, Social Media Fly Girl and KBJ Online. Those are the two sites that I'm kind of linking to from places. On Pinterest, we're going to KBJ Online, which is good. Now on Google Plus, when we click About, you can link in your bios, KBJ Online and Social Media Fly Girl. Remember those were options. And then all of your other social media profiles you can link to in the link section, along, of course, with your YouTube. And in YouTube, I'm clicking About here. You can see that I've already connected my Twitter and my Facebook. Then we have twitter.com, kbjonline.com, and Kate Buck Jr. going to my V card, which is great. And we'll talk about the card in just a little while. So everything is sending traffic to the sites that I want to. There's no broken links or anything going anywhere weird that I wouldn't normally send traffic. Now, bios, you want those to kind of match across all your profiles. So once again, social media manager and fly girl, lover of coffee, shoes, and football, choreographer, streaming live from my brain, to your browser. That tends to be my bio. So when I come over here to Facebook, I think it probably goes here. No. Must be, oops. Now here I have a more professional bio, and that's because that comes directly from my KBJ Online site, and that's because this is my business page. You can see on Instagram, I have the same bio there. Twitter, same bio. Now LinkedIn, you get a long bio, so I use one similar to what's on my About Me page. Pinterest, same one. Google Plus, again, you have a couple of different ways to do that. You get your introduction, which is very similar, and then you also get a quick tagline here. And then we already checked out YouTube, and I could edit that just like that. So we're going to click cancel, and we're going to say all of my profiles are up to date with the correct bio. Now, my graphics are also kind of out of whack, okay? Normally, you want your graphics to be consistent across all of your social media profiles. And I will show you what I mean by that. This is my good friend Hugh Briss here. And he creates custom social media backgrounds that you can use across all your social media profiles that match. So everything from a timeline cover to a Twitter background to the new YouTube banners to your big Google Plus cover image. Even this about.me, which we're going to also talk about when we talk about the business card, okay? So normally you want all those to match. And if you come over to my KBJ Online social media, you can see that for the longest time, they all did match. I had this cover image, and you don't really get graphics on LinkedIn or Pinterest, so they're not a concern there. But you do need them on Google Plus, and mine is not matching. So let's do this. Let's take this and we'll download this. Oh, it won't let me. You can see Twitter does match. There's two kinds of graphics on Twitter. There's this background graphics here, and there is the header graphic. So you have two there. You have one main one on Facebook, but you also have custom tabs that you might use your graphics on as well. We'll get to those in Module 5. You don't have any graphics on Instagram either, because Instagram is mostly a mobile site. So let's come here and let's say change cover, and we'll upload. We're going to select a photo and we're going to use our cover image. Barely fits. So we would really actually kind of want to do some work here to fix this. Let's see. I don't have time to do that now, but I I will work on that, and I'll show you how I'll do that in just a second. Oof, that kind of looks terrible. Terrible, terrible. Edit channel art here as well. Your photos. Let's use that cover image again if it'll let us. Darn, it will not let me, which is probably why I was just using something from their gallery that, yeah, there we go. That's semi-consistent with my brand, because that will work for now before I can move on, okay? Now, there's a couple of different ways to get these graphics done. I pointed you, of course, towards my friend Hugh here. There's another way to get them done, and that's on Fiverr.com. You can search for Twitter background, and somebody will help create these for you for $5. Now, inside this module, I have included the templates that you need in order to create these yourself using Photoshop. If you wanted to actually create these different graphics yourself via images. So I've given you a couple of resources. The first thing that I've given you is a zip file of all of the templates. So you'll definitely find that in this module. And you'll also find a document that's called Customizing a Twitter Background that will help explain to you and give you a link to a video where I show you how to upload or how to edit graphics yourself. In the resources section of, in the resources document for this module, I've also given you links to not only the social identities guys, but also, Fiverr and another site called Social Media Branding Kit, okay? So you've got a couple of places where you could purchase these. Now, there's also the tools that are included with this training that you could use to create your graphics as well as a third option rather than using Fiverr or hiring someone like the Social Media Branding Kit people or the Social Identities people, all right? To get all of your graphics done. So you might want to take a look at those tools as well. So these ones that I just went over with you, your Facebook personal profile, your Facebook fan page, Twitter, Google+, YouTube, and then we also had LinkedIn, Pinterest. Here, I'll just open them back up for you. We had LinkedIn, Pinterest, and Instagram. Okay, those are your sort of essential sites that I want for you to set up and use. Instagram is sort of your optional one. And then additionally, I'd like for you to set up using some of these different services as a kind of a bonus opportunity. I'd like for you to consider setting up a digital business card. You can use about.me, connect.me, magnet.com, which is the one that I'm using there. I do have an about.me that we can look at, so let's go over there. This is my magnet site, and basically it just has links to everywhere you can find me on the web, where you can contact me, and a few of my most recent tweets. But you can set these up for free, and you can set them up quickly. You want them to, again, be branded like your other sites. So on this one, I would log in and change my picture. But again, I have my main URLs, I have all my social media icons here, and we've still got that pink branding with the social media manager. Also goes in line with my KBJ Online stuff. So I consider that is well branded. And then we can see if I've set up a connect.me profile yet. Of course I have. I haven't finished it yet. And then the new one that's kind of on the scene that I think you guys might get a kick out of, and it's kind of fun, it's called Rebel Mouse. And you can connect all of your social media profiles here. And it not only has your bio and your link and your icons, but then it actually shows some of your images and your recent tweets and posts, blowing up your graphics, links that you've shared, etc. So Rebel Mouse is also a fun new one that you might like to use for your digital business card. Okay, and again, I'm setting that up in addition to my social media profiles as a way to sort of aggregate all of my social bios in the same place. Okay, so again, you want to go in to your settings on every single one of your social media accounts, and you'll also do this for every single one of your clients, and just verify that usernames and design, okay, and profiles with images, locations, URLs, and bios, that it's all consistent across every single one of them. And then lastly, you may want to set up a site like Rebel Mouse, about.me, which is a really great one that I highly recommend that you use, or the Magnet site, MAGNT. And again, all of these links can be found in your resources document for this module. Okay. Lastly, there is a bonus handout for you called Optimization and Conversion in Social Media, and it's a good review of these tips and tricks for optimizing your profiles that I just recommended. Okay, so use your branding setup checklist. Okay, use your tech setup checklist, and don't forget to create your digital business card along with setting up all of your other social media profiles.